What's up, you guys? Slim here at Team Symmetry, here to bring you guys the top 8 finishing Dino Rabbit deck by Tang. He was the only one to bring Dino Rabbits to a top at YCS Providence. This is really interesting because a lot of people have been asking me for the last couple of weeks, Slim, what are your honest opinions on Dino Rabbit? Why haven't you been talking about Dino Rabbit? Why, have you been talking about other decks and not focusing so much on the furry white rabbit? And the thing is that as much as I love Dino Rabbit, I felt that the deck had slowed down greatly. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I ran Dino Rabbit all of last format, and I did very well with it. I was very impressed with the deck, and I think it was just an overall amazing deck in the meta. It was very sacky, like, no lie. Opening Rabbit, going to our guy next turn, pretty much guaranteeing game. It was over. Like, that's how Dino Rabbit is played, and that's how it was played and how it probably still is played. But now the ability to open Rabbit has gone down because you've lost a Rabbit and you've lost a tour guide. A lot of people think that didn't slow down the deck, but it did. It made the consistency not there as much. Like, you wouldn't open Rabbit as much. Most likely you'd open with vanillas, and unless you were a skilled player or got lucky, it's very hard to play out of the hand of all vanilla monsters. You had to back them up with cards like Forbidden Lance and like traps like Bottomless, Compulse, Deep Prison, etc. And you needed to use them in order to win the game. But anyways, it was interesting to see that Dino Rabbit was brought to a top 8 finish, and also for the fact that it's extremely standard. This looks identical almost to the build that I came up with when Dino Rabbit got hit. There's a couple different changes in here, but I think overall it's just a really very standard but very well-built Dino Rabbit deck because it covers all the bases that Dino Rabbit needs to cover. So with that being said, I'm going to get into the deck list. We've got 3 Caboozle, the best card ever invented. I love 3 Caboozles, along with 3 Sabersaurus. They're both really good cards in the deck. Like, you need them. Like, there's no way you run Dino Rabbit without the dinos, and unfortunately these are the 2 dinos you have to run. Now, a lot of people don't understand, but having a Sabersaurus isn't that bad. I mean, you can crash with a Thunder King or possibly get over it with Lance. I mean, sometimes it's not as bad as you think, and sometimes you can just summon 2 of them and make your Laggy or Dolka. 1 BLS, he's running the BLS because he's got some lights in there along with the darks in order to make the soldier live. 2 Effect Veiler, no Max C's in the main because, like I said, a lot of players have been dropping Effect Veiler. They feel that Effect Veiler is not that effective. I mean, have been dropping Max C because Max C is not that effective this format outside of windup, so they feel Effect Veiler is better. Plus, it being a light target for BLS makes it just a better card overall. The standard Gores, of course, the 2 Furry Bunny Rabbits. You have to run them. 1 Sangan, 2 Snowman Eater, and 2 Thunder King. This is exactly what I ran in my Dino Rabbits for the fact that it was a stun factor. Dino Rabbit's a stun deck. They stun the opponent, they punish bad players, they win like that, and they outsack the opponent. So that's why these cards were ran. And of course, to finish off the monsters, we got the 2 Tour Guides. Onto the spells, we have the Staples Book, Dark Hole. We have 2 Forbidden Lance, not 3 because he's not running Guaiba. I don't think anyone's running Guaiba in Dino Rabbit anymore, just for the fact that Guaiba has a lot to contend with this format with a lot of big decks like Agents and Dragons. So if you don't have Lance, it really sucks for Guaiba. So he opted to run just the 2 Lance. Staple Heavy Storm, he decided to run Mind Control. I found that interesting. But at the same time, I agreed with it. A lot of decks these days, Gear included, are running level 3 and level 4 monsters, so this card can be live pretty much at any point of the game. Also, you could steal Utopia to make Utopia Ray. There's always that option. Staple Reborn, 3 MSTs for back row removal, and the Staple Pot of Avarice to start your cycles all over again. Onto the traps, we've got the standard 2 Bottomless, 2 Compulse. Love this card. This card, like I said, is the best trap of the format in my opinion. It's so versatile in so many ways. You can save your monsters, you can bounce your opponent's XYZs, and you can just create ridiculous plays. 2 Deep Prison, pretty standard. This 1 Solemn Measurement and only 1 Solemn Warning. This is really interesting. People may say, why didn't he run 2? I'm sure the reasoning is that he didn't want to have to pay the life points. Like, people are starting to drop Solemn Judgment for the fact that, hell, I don't want to pay half my life points in order to negate something. It's like, if I negate something and then you reborn it, it's kind of pointless. Or if I negate something and you just beat me down from there, it kind of sucks. So they're opting to run to cut Judgment, but he decided to run 1 and 1, so I think that was a good call. 1 Starlight Road to protect all his back row, and 1 Torrential over 2, because Dino Rabbit do not like to clear the board ever when they have a Laggy or Dolka present, so Torrential punishes bad players, and unless you're getting that Tour Guide Sangan play with Torrential, it's not really that beneficial. Onto his side deck, we got 1 Cyber Dragon for Geargias and Windup and other machine decks. 2 Fossil Dyna. I love Fossil Dyna because Fossil Dyna is just an amazing card overall. Really shocks the opponent. The summoning of this card is sometimes deadly because you summon it, protect it. Your opponent really can't do much. Most decks special summon these days, so Dyna's just a really good card overall. on to the rest of the side deck. 2 Kaiku. This was one of my cards that I myself cited when I ran Dino Rabbit because it was an out to decks like Chaos Dragons and it was an out to decks like Dark World. Chaos Dragons especially, you could remove all their monsters, leave them with no options, just continue to beat them down from there. So I think that Kaiku's is an overall really good card. 2 Max C's, he decided not to main them, decided to side them, so this was a good call for windups and decks that special summon a lot. 2 Level Limit Area B, last format, this was the gem card a lot of people didn't know about, even though ARG's Joji Orlando wrote an article on it. This card is meant to lock down high-level decks like Chaos Dragons because their monsters come out in defense, so they can't touch you, so you're able to get out of really bad situations. This was a really good card. Overall, I myself cited 2 of these. He decided to side just 1 Soul Taker, or pretty much I guess that's all he needed. 1 System Down to further punish the Gear Gias. 2 Dust Tornadoes over Royal Decree because Dino Rabbit want to use their traps. They don't want to lock them down, so Dust Tornado is just a better call overall, and it's chainable too. And 2 Macrocosmos for Insectors if they popped up, for Chaos Dragons, for Dark World, a lot of decks like that that rely on the grave. Very, very standard if you look at it. On just to the extra deck, 1 Chimera Tech for the Cyber Dragon, 1 Stardust to match the Starlight Road, the 2 Dolkas and 2 Lagias are staple, Leviair, Maestroke, Leviathan, Miserythim. I really like that he ran Miserythim because a lot of people don't know about this card. This card goes to 3,000 in the damage step when it attacks, so this card's really good. I like this card a lot. Plus, it's I'm trying to see if it's wind or something. I don't know. I don't think that matters. But on to the rest. We got a Utopia and Utopia Ray, very standard. Of course, the best card ever invented, Pappy. Love Pappy. Shout out to Pappy. And 1 Tempo and 1 Zen Mains to finish off the extra deck. My thoughts on this deck, it did so well because a lot of people did not expect Dino Rabbit. I don't care what anyone says. You go into an event these days, you're expecting Windups, Gear Gias, Chaos Dragons. You're not expecting Dino Rabbit. A lot of people have opted not to run Dino Rabbit, and that's the thing, is that it's a surprise factor. It's still a really good deck. It's just slowed down, and you have to make up for its speed these days with other cards and other tech choices. And the thing is, this deck's very standard. I can't say there was anything special here. And that's what I think is just the charm of this deck, is that there was nothing special in this deck that made it go over the top. It was the skill of Bo Tang, and it was the skill of being able to just play out all the matches and optimize Rabbit and optimize cards like Thunder King and Snowman Eater and drop BLS to punish the opponent even further. That's why I think this deck did so well. I think the side deck choices were good, especially Fossil Dyna. I am positive this was the star of the side deck because it locks down every deck in the meta. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you like this deck? Do you hate this deck? I know a lot of people hate Dino Rabbit. They can't stand Dino Rabbit. And the thing is, Dino Rabbit is Dino Rabbit. You have to accept it. They're going to look standard. Windups look all the same. Dino Rabbits look all the same. Agents are starting to look all the same. Dark World, like I said, Dark World look all the same. All these decks look the same. Like, you need to get that through your head that good decks are built on the same basis. They all run the same couple of monsters because they all work. They all work for a certain purpose, and that's why decks like Dino Rabbit look like this. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up the video. Like I said, I'm going to continue shooting out the rest of the top 8 and top 16 lists in the next couple of days. Just wanted to give my personal opinions on the deck and what I thought worked and what is there a need for improvement. Just let me know down below in the comments. Thumbs up the video. What would you change? Would you think Snowman is good? Do you think Thunder King is good? Do you think Maining Mind Control was a good call? Would you change the traps? Would you change the side deck? Just let me know what you guys think. Comment below, and we will continue to shoot out the rest of the video. So that's all I got to say, you guys. Thank you for watching.